How's it going, everybody? In this video, I am going to be telling you how you can start dropshipping in 2027. And this form of dropshipping that I'm going to be telling you about is called high ticket dropshipping. And by the end of this video, you are going to see why this is the best way to do dropshipping in 2027 and moving forward. So let's get straight to it. All right. So what is high ticket dropshipping, right? So number one, high ticket dropshipping is going to be the most sustainable and long-term way to do dropshipping. Because pretty much everything stays the same with high ticket. So I've been doing high ticket for around, I would say about 3 years now, about 3.5 years, and everything has pretty much stayed the same. And I say pretty much everything has stayed the same. And I've known about high ticket for longer than that. I've known about high ticket for like 5 to 6 years. And before I even started high ticket, I actually took courses before I even started, and everything is pretty much the same. You know what I mean? So it's extremely sustainable. Things don't really change a lot within the space. So what is high ticket dropshipping, right? So high ticket dropshipping is when you are a dealer, right? You're a dealer and you have suppliers that you work with, and you become a dealer for those suppliers. It's called an authorized dealer, and they let you sell their products on your store, right? So if you have a fitness store, right? You can have different dealers for different fitness equipment. You might sell barbells, you might sell weights, you might sell saunas and anything recovery, right? Um, so that's the difference, right? With low ticket, you go on like AliExpress and things like that. It's really long wait times. The good thing about high ticket is there's really no long wait times. Most of your suppliers will be able to get you around like 3 to 5 day shipping, 5 to 7 day shipping. So things get to the customer a lot quicker. If you're selling something bigger, then it could be a little longer. But for the most part, things ship really quick. And another thing is I know with low ticket drop shipping, you use Facebook. With high ticket drop shipping, you use Google ads, right? So you use Google shopping ads and Google search ads. The main ads you're going to be running is Google shopping ads at first, and then you can scale with Google search ads. Um, and high ticket drop shipping, it's in the name, high ticket. So you need fewer sales to make the money you want to make, right? So I categorize anything high ticket as anything $1,000 or more is what I call high ticket. Some people do lower. Some people will say $300 or $500 or more. It's completely up to you. I don't sell anything unless it's at least like $1,000, like 999. So that's pretty much what I do. So you need fewer sales to get to your goals. So for the most part, you're going to be selling items that cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And for the most part, most suppliers are going to give you around like I was like a 20% profit margin up to like, I've seen some suppliers have like 40% margins. 40% is a little bit more rare. Usually it's around 20 to 30% profit margins. So you see what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to get to your goals. You sell one item for $10,000 and you have a 20% profit margin. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot easier than selling 1,000 products for $20. You see what I'm saying? And I'll get more into that later on why, in my opinion, just selling high ticket products is way easier. So like I said, I've been doing it for 3 years, and I've done low ticket before in the past, and high ticket is way better. It's way easier. The customers are way easier to deal with. A lot of people have the common misconception that someone needs to call you in order to buy first. That's not true. I've sold products for $20,000, $30,000 many times, and no one called. I've sold products for $40,000 back to back to back to back to back, and no one called me. They just buy. Most of the customers that I have, and most of the customers of people that I know that have high ticket businesses, people usually buy straight off the store. They usually don't call. Now you will get calls. Don't get me wrong. You will get calls, and people will call you and ask about the product. And some people will want to purchase on the phone, but for the most part, most people are just gonna buy online. Um, And another thing is, like I said, you work with reputable brands. So the good thing about High Ticket is that you're not trying to build a whole new brand that no one knows, right? So yeah, you're building a store that's brand new, right? If you were to build a store today, but when you upload products, you're uploading products from proven suppliers who have been in the game for decades, right? For years, who already have search volume, who already have brand demand, who already have products that people want, right? So when people see those products on your store and when they see those products on your store, they know, oh, okay, this is an authorized dealer. And right there, you get trust. I'm gonna be honest, it's like no other business model out there because on day one, you get trust like that just because the brand is trustworthy, right? So imagine if you had a store and you were an authorized dealer for Nike and you had Nike on your store and you have authorized dealer, you're going to get a lot of sales because Nike has a big market. But you're not going to be able to sell Nike. Nike doesn't usually do like high ticket dealers, but you see what I'm saying. And like I said, higher profit per product, so ad costs aren't really an issue. And while this model is stable long term, we're gonna get into the strategy, but I just really want to tell you what high ticket is, right? So while this model is stable long term, so number one, I mean, you have people, and I've seen this. So in the high ticket space, like I said, it's not like low ticket. In low ticket, you might have a winning product and it might fizzle out within a month, 2 months, 3 months. Like I've seen that before, right? With high ticket, it's not like that. With high ticket, it's more of a long term. So with high ticket, you can have a winning supplier and winning products in that supplier, and that supplier and that product can sell for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. For as long as you keep that store, that supplier is going to keep making you money because that supplier has been in the game, like I said, for years, for decades, and they're successful. So they're going to continue to be successful for you, right? And so while this model is also stable long term, so supplier relationships, they're built on real business terms. So you get contracts with the supplier as well. Also, the products, like I said, that you sell, they're in need, right? So you're gonna be selling products that people need. And even if people don't need them, if maybe you're selling like dirt bikes, for instance, those are products that people want so bad that they feel like they need them. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just a little bit about high ticket dropshipping. So let's get into the strategy, right? So let's get into the strategy. So the number one thing that, in my opinion, is going to be the most important thing whenever you're trying to do high ticket dropshipping is you want to make sure you pick a really good niche, right? You want to make sure you pick a really good niche. That's going to be the foundation of your business is your niche, right? So you want to pick a niche that's not easily known, but the products still have high search volume, right? 9 out of 10 times, the first niche that comes to mind, you probably shouldn't pick that one, right? So a lot of you are going to make a store and you might want to do fitness products. Well, that's the first thing that came to your mind. And that's the first thing that's going to come to a lot of people's mind is fitness. A lot of people, when they look to do a store, they're going to choose something like fitness or home or outdoor patio. These niches are very competitive niches. Um, and that's not to say you can't be successful with a competitive niche, but if you're a beginner and you're just starting out, I wouldn't make it hard on yourself, right? So I wouldn't make it hard on yourself by picking a niche that's very, very competitive. Now, as you get better and better, and as you learn more and more, and you understand the business model, and you understand how to run ads, and you start making money, and you get a lot of income and finances under your belt, then you can start making stores in these competitive niches, and you can outbid everyone in the niche, and you can compete, right? And you know what you're doing, so now you can compete in those niches, and you can make money. But at the start, I think you should pick something that's not a lot of people are in, and not a lot of people are gonna be not things that just don't pop into someone's head, right? So A good way to pick niches is like when you're driving, look around at like what you see. When you're in a store, look around at the items you see in the store. There's products all around us. Look inside of your apartment, look at the doors, look at everything and see like, okay, who makes this? And look and try to find the brand name of each of those items and search them up and see, okay, would this be a good niche? Would this be a good niche? Right. And one thing you can do is you can go to Chat GPT, right? Or Claude or Gemini, whatever, whichever one you use. And so you can go to, any of those, whichever one you use. So you can say, give me 25 high ticket drop shipping niches that aren't competitive or seasonal. Now, like I said, I want you to be able to make money year round. So you can do a seasonal store. But if you're gonna do a seasonal store, you might want to have multiple, right? One that's gonna pop off in the summer and the winter. But like I said, if you're just starting out, I wouldn't do this. If you're just starting out, try to find an evergreen niche. Try to find a niche that you can sell year round. But you can ask ChatGPT this, right? And it's gonna tell you different niches, right? So as you can see, this one says commercial ice machines, right? So why it can work. So it's basically giving you your niche, right? Restaurants, bars, offices, restaurant ventilation equipment. This kind of goes in line with like restaurants, walk-in cooler, freezer, commercial dishwashers, commercial. So this is kind of all in the same niche a little bit. Commercial dishwashers, commercial food warmers, industrial air compressors. That's different, right? So this targets contractors, dust collection systems. See, like these are things I would have never even thought to sell, these type of things, right? So this is what I mean when I say try to pick something that when you see it, like when you go into ChatGPT or AI or when you're brainstorming a niche, like anytime you look at something and you say, what is that? That's a good sign that that might be a good niche to get into. Obviously, you're going to want to check, search volume and the different things we'll talk about in the video. But once you kind of see that where you're like, wait, what is that? That's a good thing. Because if you don't know what it is, that's not to say everyone doesn't know what it is, but if you don't know what it is, that's probably a good sign that, this might not be as competitive. You know what I mean? Dust collection systems, commercial pressure washers, mobile detailing equipment. So these are just all ideas that you have, you know what I mean, to make a store in, right? And so we talked about this. You want to pick a niche that's not seasonal, right? So you can go to Google Trends for this to see, like, so for instance, if you want to sell, let's say you want to sell, water slide, right? And let's change this to, instead of past 24 hours, let's change it to the past 5 years. Now, as you can see, this niche is very seasonal, right? So we can even change it to 2004 to present, right? Look at this. Anytime you see a graph like this, it's up and down, right? So it's seasonal, right? So obviously around the month of June, July is when it's at its highest. It's at its peak. Again, June, again, May, June, right? So it's telling you when it starts going down. So like, for instance, August right now, this is showing that, in history is showing that, in August, this is not a good thing to sell, right? So as you can see, again here, August, again here, August, right? So you don't want to sell something like this that has a graph like this because, yeah, you'll make money in the summertime, yeah, but in the wintertime, you're not going to make money off of this, right? So let's say, now let's do something. Let's do a different one, right? Let's do sauna. So as you see with sauna, so this is just going up for the most part. Let me see. Let me do 5 years, right? So this isn't as seasonal. Like, yeah, it has its peaks, but it's not as bad, right? Like it's still pretty good, right? We could even go, you can do dumbbells, right? So let's like I said, like the fitness example. So like, for instance, with dumbbells, you can see for the most part, it's pretty consistent, right? Obviously the trend is going up, but it's pretty consistent on how it's selling, right? So it sells year round for the most part, right? So you want to pick a niche that's not seasonal. Like I said, you can go to Google Trends and you can compare your different niches, right? So you can add to this. So, right, you can add a search term and you can do sauna, right? And then you can do cold plunge. And then you can kind of see the difference between all of them, right? So sauna is like blowing all of these out of the water, as you can see, right? So it's more popular than the rest of them. All right. So you want to have a broad niche. So for our example, where we say dumbbell sauna cold plunge, right? You don't want to make a cold plunge store because you want to give yourself enough room to be able to pivot, right? So you don't want to have like I said right here, a paddleboard store. You don't want to have a paddleboard store because what happens if you're super excited about paddle boards and then you go to sell paddle boards and then no one's buying your paddle boards. And let's say let's say you're able to find 10 suppliers that say yes to you that sell paddle boards. If none of those suppliers are successful, then now you have a dead store. So instead of making a paddleboard store, maybe make a water sports store, right? Where you sell paddleboards, surfboards, and just anything in that niche. That way, instead of just having one product type, right? So a product type is paddleboard. Another product type is surfboard, right? So you want to have a broad niche store to where you can have 25, 30, 50 different product types, right? And if one of those product types aren't doing well for you, you can pivot to another product type, right? And then eventually on your store, what you'll find that one product type is doing really well for you and it's getting sales and getting a lot of sales for you. And what you can do is you can find more suppliers in that who sell that product type, right? So for instance, let's say, and for the most part, most suppliers who sell paddleboards will probably sell surfboards, right? But so yeah, if one product type doesn't work, then like I said, you have 40, 50 more product types that you can run ads on. And like I said, once you get a product type that's working and it's doing really, really well for you, well, now you can say, okay, this product type is working. Let me find more suppliers in this product type. And you're seeing, oh, I thought this recovery item was going to do really well, but it's not. It's actually weight sets and dumbbells. Now you can say, okay, well, I only have 2 suppliers that sell that. Now what you do is you find as many as you can that sell that product type. That way you can find more and more winning suppliers in that product type and more products in that product type so you can keep scaling. Because what I've seen in my stores and other people's stores is usually when you find a product type that's working and that's making you money, you want to dig deeper into that product type and you want to find as many suppliers as you can in that product type. I mean, really dig and find as many as you can that your competitors aren't even selling, right? Because they haven't even dug that deep because that product type might not be doing well for them. But you dig as deep as you can, right? And then you find more and more, and then you'll find more suppliers that work for you, right? So if you have a winning product type, don't have that winning product type and then say, okay, well, dumbbells and weights are doing good, but let me go over here and see if I can find something in this over here. No, no, no. Stay in that product type first and exhaust that first and then go into other product types. That's if it's working. You know what I mean? If it's not working, then you don't have to do that, right? But like I said, you want to have a broad niche because you want to be able to pivot just in case a product type doesn't work and you want to give yourself as many product types as you can. That's how you're going to have a store that you don't have. Because a lot of people, what happens is if you don't do this and you don't listen to what I'm saying, you're going to end up starting a store, a paddleboard store, for instance, right? And what's going to end up happening is if those paddle boards don't work, your store is not going to exist. And you're going to have to keep changing niches and changing niches and changing stores and making stores. Do this to where you can have one store and you can scale that one store, right? Now, product types in the niche, right? So you want to make sure the products that you're selling have great search volume as well in the niche, right? So you don't want to go so narrow that the products have only 100 to 200 searches per month. Me personally, speaking from experience. I've had great success with product types that have like 20K plus search volume, right? To be honest, the more search volume, the better. Now, with that being said, sometimes if something has a lot of search volume, sometimes it'll be competitive, but that's not always true. That's not always true, right? So I've seen success with 20K plus search volume. 10K plus is also good. I've sold products with 3K search volume as well, 3K plus. But like I said, in my experience, the more the better. You can go lower depending on competition. If there's lower competition, you can have less search volume because there's less competitors. For instance, if you have a niche and you're like, okay, I want to sell this product type, and you search it and it only has 1,000 people per month that buy it, that's not that great, right? But if you search on Google Shopping and there's no one there selling it, then you're gonna get all 1,000 people coming to your store, right? So it's just you gotta weigh the two out, right? So for instance, let me show you what I mean. Let's look up Sana. As you can see, Sana has 130, and this is SEMrush, by the way. So Sanas have 135,000 search volume. It's actually more than this. This is the word Sana. You can go down here and you can see there's total volume is 5.7 million because I've obviously the word Sana is 135,000, but not everyone's the same. So not everyone is just going to search up Sana by itself. Some people are going to do infrared Sana and things like that, benefits of Sana, right? So total is 5.7. Um, Keyword variations is 303, but Sana is 135, right? Now let's say we do cold plunge. Cold plunge is 40,000, right? So Sana has more demand than cold plunge, but this is still really good, right? 40,000 people a month. You go down here, total volume, right? And these are the keyword variations. As you can see, cold plunge has 40.5K a month, right? So 40,000 people per month are searching for cold plunges, right? So that's what I mean when I say search volume, right? Now, you want to search, you want to have product types that don't have any brand loyalty. What do I mean by that? So for instance, like if you're looking to like sell shoes, right? As a product type, right? Shoes have brand loyalty, right? People want Nike or Adidas or whatever, right? So that's what I mean by brand loyalty. You want to try to sell things that don't have brand loyalty, unless you're in a niche where there is brand loyalty, but the brand loyalty that's in the niche, they accept dealers, right? So I know for like Sanas, like there's a lot of Sana companies that have huge brand loyalty to where people want that exact Sana because they've heard about it from their friends or they've heard about it from ads or different things like that. The good thing about that though is there's a lot of those Sana brands, they let you sell their products, right? They allow authorized dealers to sell their products. Um, so another thing that makes a great product type is, like I said, $1,000 plus. So anything that's $1,000 plus, you want to try to stay within that with product types, preferably low competition, less than 5 ideally. But to be honest, you can do like more than that. Like 10 is okay. All right, so now we're getting in. So that's product type. So now we're getting into brands, right? So your brands that you work with, your brand and your supplier, you can use those words interchangeably. The brands and suppliers you work with, those are who you're getting the product types from, right? So you also want to make sure your brands have good search volume too. Now, this is not as big of a deal because with shopping ads, you have unbranded and branded search terms. So unbranded search terms are Sana. That's an unbranded search term. A branded search term would be like Clearlight Sana. Clearlight is a brand name, right? So when you're going for your brands, you want to make sure there's no brand loyalty. Um, and for the most part, this isn't really a big deal because most of the things you're going to be selling as a high ticket dropshipper don't have brand loyalty. Like Most of the niches, they don't have brand loyalty at all. So like you're good on that front. You want to make sure the brand has products that are $1,000 plus, preferably low competition. Less than five people selling that brand is ideal, but 10 is okay. To be honest, 10 to 15 is fine. You know what I mean? Depending on the brand search volume and depending on the product types search volume. Like I said, 10 to 20 is medium. Like I said, that's not that bad. Now, if it's 20 plus, then it's high competition, right? So if it's 20 plus people selling that brand, that's going to be a competitive brand. And not to say you can't still make money, but you're going to have to pay more money for clicks, and customers will price shop. So yeah, customers will price shop. So you're going to have to be more competitive. But we'll talk about price because you want to have map pricing as well. I need to put that right here. So, right. So map pricing is minimum advertised price. That's what that means. So basically, this makes sure that there's no race to the bottom, right? So you want to try to find brands with map pricing, so there's no race to the bottom. So if the product is $4,000, your supplier will tell you, hey, you cannot advertise this less than $4,000. That way, everyone is at an even playing field. And the only way you can beat out your competition is by answering your phone, answering your live chats, and just making sure you just have good customer service, right? And you have a nice website, a nice clean website, right? So that's what you'll end up competing on instead of price, right? Um, and another thing is, well, I actually want to talk more about this. So like I said, if it has 20 plus people selling that brand, then you're gonna have to pay more money for the click because obviously it's more people competing for bids. So yeah, and then also with product types, all you need is a few product types that are 20K plus, and the rest can have lower search volume. But you at least want to have a couple to a few products that have high search demand. So for instance, if you find a niche and you're like, oh, okay, this product type has 50,000 searches a month, this product type has 40, this product type has 30, you're doing well, right? Now, if you say, okay, well, I'm able to find five product types that have 20 plus, but the rest of these have 10,000, that's okay. You don't need every single product type to have 50 plus search demand, right? You just want to have enough product types with great search demand that can give you a good shot, right? Now, what you want to do is you want to gather 10 niches, 10 plus niches, or 5 plus, depending on how much work you want to do, or 20 plus. It just depends on you, in a Google sheet, and you want to compare metrics, right? So you want to compare the product types in each niche, right? So you want to compare how many product types are in each niche. So what you want to do is you want to get a Google sheet and you want to get a list, right? And you want to write down every product type that's in your broad niche, right? So if you have a broad niche, you want to compare every product type. So for instance, you can even use Chat GPT for this. So, all right. So it gives us the list right here, right? So I said I'm doing a broad niche store that sells paddle boards. I need 20 more product types I can add to this store. So here's all of the different product types. So right, you would take a Google sheet and you would copy and paste all of these product types in that niche, and it gives you like the amount too, right? So you can say, right? So it gives you a full list. So you can say, give me as many product types I can sell for 1,000 plus, right? And it gives you that, right? So boards and riding equipment, right? One product type, right? Kayaks and canoes, it gives you all of them. Motorized watercraft gives you all the different product types, all the different product types. So all of these are product types. It gave us 125 product types for this niche. So instead of selling, you see what I mean though? Instead of selling paddle boards, look at how many product types you can sell. You can sell, you have 100, and there's probably more than this. It's not even giving us the fullest, I can guarantee. You know, ChatGPT is lazy, you know. So what you can do is it's 125 product types in here. And there's even more than that, right? So now instead of just selling paddle boards and having paddle boards R Us, now you can have a premium outdoor water recreation store, right? So it even gave us an idea for the niche, right? And so now you can copy and paste all 125 into a Google Sheet, right? And you can compare the metrics. You can compare the metrics between, and you can do that for this niche. And then for the second niche you're thinking of doing, do this same thing, take all the product types, put it on your Google Sheet, right? Make a new tab and then do your third one. Make a new tab, do your fourth one. Make a new tab, do your fifth one. And then you can go through all of these and you can look up the search volume for each one of these. You can go on Google Shopping, right? You can go, okay, motorized paddle boards. You can go to Google Shopping and say, okay, is this $1,000 plus? Yes. We go to Google Shopping, we type in motorized paddleboard, and as you can see, every motorized paddleboard is within about 7,000 to around 14,000, right? So these are all, there's even more, I'm sure. Yep. So this checks off, right? So now in your Google Sheet, you can put, okay, motorized paddleboards, and then you can say, analyze. So the search volume is saying 480, right? And it's saying total volume is 2K, but we'll put this number, right? So for instance, here's our Google Sheet. You can take this list, you can go all the way down, you can copy, paste, right? Copy and paste. So these are your product types. And then you can say, okay, you can say product types, and then you can say search demand, right? And then for motorized paddle boards, it's 480, right? And then you can say, does like $1,000 plus, right? And then you can put yes, right? And then you can put seasonal. And then you can go to Google Trends and you can type in motorized paddleboard. So as you can see, and you can type in motorized paddleboard and you can go into Google Trends and you can say, okay, is this seasonal, right? And of course it's going to be seasonal, right? So you can put yes, it's seasonal, right? This whole store is going to be seasonal, like obviously, right? But yeah, I'm just trying to show you how you would do it, right? So you would go first to SEMrush, you'll look at the search demand, and then you'll go to and see, okay, is it $1,000 plus? Yes. Is it seasonal? Yes. Right. So that would fail, that this column right here would fail the test, right? And then you would say, is there brand demand for this? There really isn't. And then you could say no, or you could say yes if you find that there is brand demand. And then you can just do this for as many product types as possible. And also you want to do this for your brands as well, right? So for instance, I know there's a brand called Dundalk Leisurecraft. They sell saunas, so you can throw them in here, right? And then you would just search up their brand demand, their branded demand. This is 320. Now for brands, it's a lot different than product types. So for brands, a good search volume for a brand, like 320 is good. It's okay. Like it's not bad. Like 320 is good. $1,000, 1,000 plus search volume is like, that's great. If you can find a brand with 1,000 plus, that's great. If you can find a brand with 500, that's good. 300 is still pretty good. It's okay. And then around like 0 to like 200, 250, that's kind of low. It's on the lower. Around like 0 to 200 to 250 is a little low. But anything like 300, 400 plus is pretty good. And then so when you start getting up to like 700, 1,000, 2,000, that's really, really good. So brands aren't going to have as obviously as high search volume as product types, right? So sauna, the word sauna, more people know if someone wants a sauna, more people are going to say at the beginning of their buyer journey, they're going to search up sauna at the start. They don't know anything about saunas. They don't know anything about the brands in the sauna. They're going to search up sauna. So naturally, that's going to have more search volume than the actual brand. And then as they're trying to find saunas, naturally, they're going to start finding brands. They're going to start going on different websites and they're going to start seeing, oh, okay, here's this brand. Okay, there's this brand. Oh, okay, there's this brand. Right. And you can, again, you can go to ChatGPT and say, give me 25 sauna brands, right? And bam, it gives you 25. And you can put all these in your list, right? And then, right, you can go here and you can put all of these in your list. Now, not all of these are going to be dropship friendly. What does that mean? Dropship friendly basically means do they allow drop shipping? Like, do they allow dealers for their products, right? So to figure that out, I will show you what you can do, right? So what you can do is you can type in the brand on Google Shopping. And if you see different stores selling it, more than likely they're dropship friendly, right? So this is Dundalk Leisure Craft, right? So as you can see, you got Recovery for Athletes selling them, Sun Valley Sauna selling them, Relaxacare selling them, and I'm sure there's even more as we can go down. So you can see these people. So this is the ads sponsored. This is where you will be for Google Shopping. So all of these people are running ads to this product, right? And then as you scroll down, these aren't ads. These are just like organic. So right here is just organic stores that pop up. So you can go down here and you can see Sauna Shield is selling them. My Sauna World is selling them. Premium Saunas is selling them. So you know that they're dropship friendly more than likely, right? And so you also can go to your sheet. So for your brand, it's going to be a little different. So when you do your brands, you can even add a tab right here that says dropship friendly, right? So we just did Dundalk Leisure Craft. You can say yes. You don't have to do this dropship friendly one, to be honest. You can just call everyone, right? You never know, they might let you in. But if you want to add a tab, you can add a tab here that says dropship friendly. If you're a beginner, if I was you, I would just call as many brands as you can because, yeah, you never know who might let you in. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You never know, especially if you're good on the phone, right? So Dundalk Leisure Craft, dropship friendly, yes. Search demand for Dundalk Leisure Craft is $320. Price point, is it over $1,000? Yes. As you can see, they sell for 10,000. They sell for 13,000. So the answer to this is yes. Seasonal, we already checked this earlier, so we already know that it's not seasonal. So bam, this is for your brands, right? So first we did it for our product types. We saw, okay, what is the search demand for all of these product types? And now we did it for brands. Okay, what's the search demand for all these brands? Why did we do this? I'm going to tell you why. Because when you do this for different niches, you are going to notice some niches suck in comparison to other niches, right? You're going to notice, and so you can, and again, this list can be as long as you want it to be, because remember how many product types, let me just back out of this. Remember how many product types we had. Look at all of this. Look at all these product types. And there's even more than this. So you might have 500 product types, 200. And then for each product type, you might have countless brands for each product type, right? It depends how much you want to do. It's up to you, right? And so what you'll find is you'll see, okay, this niche has 10 product types that have 50K plus search volume, right? And then there's 20 products that have 20K plus search volume. And then you might see, okay, this second niche, they only have two brands that have 20K plus, and the rest of these product types have like 5,000 or 1,000. And so you're going to see the difference in niches. You know what I mean? And then again, and then when you do it for brands, you're going to say, okay, in this niche, it has this many brands in comparison to this niche. And in this niche, it has 50,000. And in this niche, I have 4 or 5 brands that have 10,000 plus search volume or 2,000 search volume. And then you're able to compare that to the different brands. And so what you're going to find is you're going to see some niches are better than other niches, right? You're going to see that, oh, okay, I'm able to find way more product types that meet the criteria in this niche. And I'm able to find more brands that meet the criteria in this niche, right? And then you can just pick that niche, right? So that's why you want to do that. Because again, we're running unbranded and branded search. We're running branded and unbranded shopping campaigns. So you're gonna have two campaigns, branded and unbranded. We're gonna get into that later. And you want to make sure your products can do good in the branded campaign and the unbranded campaign. Again, the unbranded campaign is gonna have all of your terms that are unbranded, right? It's going to be all your product types like these, like premium paddle boards, motorized paddle boards, electric paddle boards, premium touring, right? So you want to make sure all of your product types have high search volume. That way you're getting a lot of clicks, right? So if you have a lot of products that have great search volume, well, that's good. That means you have a lot of products that have high demand. So that's going to make sure you're getting as many clicks to your products and giving you the best chance, right? And it allows you to scale a lot higher. Now, the reason we do it for branded as well, like we did here, is because you're also going to have a branded campaign. The branded campaign is going to house all of your brands, so all of your brand names, right? So that's where it's going to house like Sun Home Saunas, Almost Heaven Saunas, Redwood Outdoors, Dundalk Leisure Craft, and it's going to house the name of the product, right? So the name of this sauna is Canadian Timber, 6-person Georgian. So yeah, Canadian Timber 6, right? So it's going to house all of the brand's product names as well. So the reason we also do it for the brands is because you want to make sure your branded campaign has as much people clicking as possible. You want to have as much demand as possible and as many people as possible that can hit that campaign. That's why I'm saying do both. Because if you only do it for product types and you say, oh, I don't care how much search volume my brands have, yeah, you might be getting traffic on your unbranded campaign, but you might not get any traffic or any clicks, and you might not spend much money in your branded campaign because you just don't have search volume in those campaigns, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay, that's not a bad thing because a lot of people say branded campaign is where you make the majority of your money. That is not true at all. In my store that I sold for 6 figures and that I was able to take to 2.7 million, that store that store, most of my sales came from unbranded. Majority of my sales for that store came from unbranded campaigns. For that store, my best selling product had I think it was like 70,000 or something. Like it was like 70,000 plus searches per month. It was like 50 to 70,000 or something like that. And I think it climbed to like 100,000. So my unbranded campaign was getting a lot of clicks and a lot of traffic just because the demand was there for that product type. People didn't know brands in that niche or for that specific product type. No one was searching up brands. No one really knew any of the brands. No one really cared. Most of the traffic was going to the unbranded term, right? So that's where I made all my money for the most part was unbranded. I still was getting like branded clicks and getting sales from the branded campaign, but most of my sales came from unbranded. That's why it's very important that you do this, right? So you know. So yeah, we went over gathering your 10 niches and then a quick note on search volume, right? So like I said before, search volume, all it equals is demand, right? So people are searching for products that they want. We're running ads on Google Shopping. The good thing about running ads on Google Shopping is people are already searching for what they want. The more people searching, the more demand there is for that product, right? This is important because in Google Shopping, we are bidding for those terms they are searching for. If we sell infrared saunas and we want our ads to show up for infrared saunas, if there's 200,000 people searching for that term a month, your store has a good chance of getting eyeballs because they're already searching for it, right? It's not like you're running Facebook ads and you're putting ads in front of people who are trying to catch up with their family and trying to watch funny videos. No, these people are already searching on Google trying to buy a product and you want yourself to pop up, right? So search volume and demand is interchangeable. You know what I mean? So now let's talk about supplier relationships. All right. So this is very important, right? So before I told you that your niche is going to be the most important thing, that is true. But also within that is going to be your supplier relationships, right? Great suppliers equals great products equals great results is what I put right here. And that's true, right? Supplier relationships are crucial. Your products are what will make or break your store, right? You receive those products from your supplier, right? So you want to make sure you have good suppliers. Again, that's why I said whenever we did this, that's why I said make sure you do it for the brand as well, not just the product type. So again, suppliers with good search volume are crucial in branding campaigns. Buyers are searching for the specific brand. Like for instance, Kohler, right? That's a brand. And then the unbranded campaign, like I said before, they're searching for vague terms, bathtub, right? Kohler sells bathtubs, right? This is an unbranded term. This is a branded term, right? Because it's the brand name, and then this is just generic, right? You can swap out unbranded for generic, right? Unbranded and generic, you can use those interchangeably if it makes it easier for you to understand what I mean when I say unbranded. You can just swap that out for a generic term, right? Unbranded campaigns are the reason we want the product type to also have great demand. If the product type has great demand and the supplier has great demand, both the branded and the unbranded campaigns will be profitable and be able to scale. Like I said earlier, you reach out to suppliers and you ask them to become a dealer, right? So if you want to become a dealer, you go here, you say Dundalk Leisure Craft, and you find their website. Bam, this is their website, right? And they even have a dealer login, right? So you can go to, so if you want to find out if a brand is a dealer, go to their website, and it's obvious if it says dealer login or if down here it says become a dealer or something like that, then you know that, like for instance, right here, become a dealer. So you know that they accept dealers, right? So if you want to become a dealer of Dundalk Leisure Craft, you could either call them right here, or you could just click this, and then you fill out this information, bam, become a dealer. Now, what I would tell you to do is do what I do, right? So what I would do is if I wanted to become a dealer of this brand, you know what I would do? I would fill this out and I click become a dealer. And then after I fill it out, I would call them and I would say, hey, my name is da 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 da. I'm interested in becoming a dealer. Who is the right person to speak to, or something like that, right? And then 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say, "Oh, you just fill it. You go to our website and you click this." And I'm gonna say, "Yeah, oh, I saw that. I actually did that." And then they're gonna say, "What's your name?" And I'm gonna say, "Oh, it's Isaiah." And then they're gonna look it up, and then right then and there, they may send me the credit application or the dealer application, right? So you want to be proactive. You don't want to just fill this out and then just pray and hope. You want to fill this out and you want to call them. You know what I mean? So that is how you can become a dealer for a brand. You just search the brand in Google, you find them, you call them. Not every brand is going to have this become a dealer. You know what I mean? So if you don't see this, that's fine. Just call them and say, hey, I would like to become a dealer. Who is the right person I should be speaking to in order to do that? And they'll put you on the phone with the right person, right? Now, MAP. We already talked about MAP, minimum advertised price. It just ensures there's no race to the bottom. So how do you find out if a brand has minimum advertised price? What you can do is you find the product, you find the brand name, the brand, right? And then you find the specific item they sell, right? So for instance, if you're selling saunas, right? This is a sauna brand named Golden Designs. Let me show you what I mean. Golden Designs, they sell an item called the Dynamic Barcelona Sauna. So to find out if a brand has MAP, you want to put in the brand name, and then you want to find one of their product names. It could be any product. Find a product name. This one is the Dynamic Barcelona Sauna. Find the product name and the brand name, search it, and then you will be able to see the people selling it. And you'll be able to see, okay, is the price the same? Because again, minimum advertised price is a minimum advertised price, right? So if the product is $18.99, you want to make sure everyone has that price, or it can be higher, right? So a minimum advertised price, it needs to be either that price or higher. So for instance, this sauna, this person's selling it for $1,899. This person's selling it for $1,899. This person's selling it for $1,899, and the same with them. They're selling it for more, right? They're selling it for $100 more, and someone else is selling it. This one is selling it for $100 more, right? And that's okay because they're selling it for more money. So like obviously like these people are gonna win. But I'm guessing from this, yes, they do have. I'm not guessing. They do have MAP. Their MAP is 1,899, and for some reason they're at 1,000. Excuse me. They're at 1,999. I'm sorry. These two are at 1,999. The dealer more than likely why this happened. This supplier more than likely used to sell this for 1,999, and they changed their price $100 lower, and your supplier is going to send you that. If they change the price and they make it a lower price, they're going to send it to you in your email and say, hey, you can change your price. And these people got that email, but they did not, more than likely. More than likely, these two people did not get that email, or they got the email and they probably weren't selling a lot of it anyway, so they probably just never changed it, or they just want to make more money, and they sell so well that they upped it 100 and they still make money. So it's one of those three things. But yeah, they have map pricing. If you see a consistent price when you search up the brand and their product name, and you see the price is consistent, then you know that they have map. Now, if we looked at this and we saw that this person was selling it for 2,000, this person was selling it for 4,000, this person was selling for 5,000, then we were like, okay, there's no map. If everyone has different prices, it's like there's no map pricing because everyone is all over the place, right? Now, website design. Now, let me get up when I say this. Website design is crucial. It is crucial. You need a good website design as well, right? It needs to be trustworthy, right? A trustworthy, well-branded website is important, right? It needs to have trust factors to make people feel safe as well. Design and colors are crucial. Most people make a decision to buy from a website based on the branding, the layout, the colors, and the speed of the site. What feeling is your site giving the customer when they go on it? When you make your site, like what is your site conveying to the customer? In my school, I teach you exactly how to make websites. I give you the exact website template that I used. I give you the exact in my school, I give you the exact Shopify template that I used to do the 2.7 million in sales. I give you the exact Shopify template, and I also walk you through how to set it up, everything. I walk you through the entire thing. I walk you through how to do the demo products. I walk you through where to put everything. Literally, it's a carbon copy of the store that I had, right? So all this stuff is crucial. And if you want to get access to my school, you can just click the link in the description. Also, you need a phone number, you need an email, you need your hours on the site. So you want to have your phone number and your email in multiple spots. So ideally 3. Those spots are at the top, the middle, and the bottom, just so people can see it. So you want to have your phone number and your email at the top, middle, bottom. Email you can have at the top and the bottom. That's fine. If you can do all 3, that's even better. Phone number you need at the top, middle, bottom, and then your deal. If you have like a discount, you want that to be at the top in the middle, right? So that's when they first go on your site, they can see in your announcement bar, hey, we're having a sale. And then next to the add to cart, they can see also, hey, get 5% off this product or get a free gift. Optional address in the footer. This is not necessary. Please do not put a fake address because people will search it up. Do not put the address to Krispy Kreme or the local McDonald's in your area and think nobody's going to search. No one's going to search it up, because they will search it up and they will see that Krispy Kreme when they search up your address, and they're going to be like, yo, what is going on? And they're going to leave your website. So this is optional. In my website, I didn't even have an address in the footer, right? So you don't need an address in your footer. If you do want an address, you can do like a virtual address, but be very careful with virtual addresses, because most virtual addresses pop up as virtual addresses. So try to get, like, if you're going to do an address, make sure it's of an actual like building, of an actual trustworthy building, right? All right, like an office building or something. And then another thing you can do in order to like increase conversion rate and to beat out competitors is you can give some sort of discount. This will increase your conversion rate. Like I said, examples like 5% off or something. You can give a free gift if the product is competitive in order to entice them to buy from you. And you can do like a free gift is like, if you're selling like paddle boards or something, maybe there's like a paddle board cleaner, your supplier is going to give you a price list. So you can go on their price list and you can look up the accessories, like little things that go with your product that make sense. And they're usually very, very cheap. And then you can just say, hey, get a free this. And you might only be paying like $10 for it or something. So yeah. And then this is extremely important. Answer your phone. Make sure you answer your phone. If it's not you answering, just make sure it's someone answering the phone. Because this will honestly beat out most competition. Don't worry about competition. In my opinion, there's really no such thing as competition for real. You'll beat out most competition by answering your phone. I've done this. I've called up competitors' stores before just to see if they answer. They never answer. It might be like once or twice, or like the person answered right away, but usually they don't answer. Or it's like an automated, like an AI voice. Just by answering your phone, it being you that answers the phone, you're gonna beat out most of your competition just with that by itself. I'll be completely honest. So yeah, just make sure you answer your phone, and now let's get to the ad strategy. Now, like I said before, and like I've been saying this whole time, you're gonna have two campaigns. You're gonna have an unbranded campaign and a branded campaign. Your branded campaign, like I said before, would be for branded terms. Example: Kohler, American Standard, Sterling, right? All of these are branded terms, right? This is your hot traffic. They have done their research and they know the exact brand slash product that they want, right? So normally you're gonna bid higher. All bid means is you're just gonna pay more money, right? So you're willing to pay $3. Maybe you're willing to pay $3 for a click for a branded term because you know that they're higher in the buy-in cycle, right? Because they already know the brand they want. And then if they're searching for the brand in the product, then you'll be able to see that in your search terms when you look. If they're searching for the brand and product name, they know exactly what they want. They know they want that brand, and they know they want that exact product from that brand, right? So normally you bid higher for this. Unbranded campaign, like I said, is for unbranded slash generic terms. Bathtub, bathroom sink, bathroom mirror. It's not specific. It's colder traffic because they're earlier in the buying journey. Usually you bid lower. So if someone's like, yo, I need a bathtub, they don't even know what kind of bathtub they want or need. They're just searching up bathtub, right? So you're not going to want to spend $5 on that, right? Because they don't even know which one they want yet. So usually you bid lower for this. You can bid like 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, depending on your niche. Unbranded can do better than branded. This is what I said earlier. It depends on your store. You want to spend evenly on both campaigns starting out, and you want to increase your bids on what works. Scaling in this business, it just means increasing bids. Increasing bids just means spending more money. So maybe in an unbranded campaign, you're bidding 50 cents, and you're like, that's the most money I want to pay for a click. And let's say you got 5 sales in a day. Well, you're making money, right? So now you want to increase that because you want to get more people. So when you increase your bid, let's say you increase it to 75 cents, that's gonna up how many people go to your store. So at first, you might have only been getting 10 clicks at 50 cents. You might up your bid to 75 cents, and now that might up your clicks to 25 clicks, right? So off 10 clicks, you're able to get 5 sales. Imagine how many sales you'll be able to get off 25 clicks, right? Or 50 clicks or 100 clicks. So you only want to scale on what's working. So if you're making money and it's profitable, then yeah, you can increase the bid to get more traffic and more clicks to make more money. And if it's not doing well, you can lower your bid, right? So if you're spending, let's say you're spending $3 in a branded campaign, and let's say the product costs $4,000, and let's say for easy math, your profit margin, let's say that to get product is $4,000, the supplier charges you 2,000, so you make $2,000 profit. Let's say you've spent 2,000 or $1,500 on ads for that specific product and that brand. Well, you're like, okay, well, damn, if I get a sale, I'm be breaking even or barely making any money. You can lower your bid from that $3 and you can lower it to $2 or $1 or 75 cents to where you're not spending as much money, right? And every product has like its optimal bid. So just because it's not getting sales at one bid doesn't mean it won't get sales at a lower bid. You know what I mean? Now, let's talk about customer service. So, customer service is also essential. Good customer service is long-term success. I can't stress this enough. Um, yeah, this is what's gonna make you last long term. Like I told you earlier in the video, you can have a store for 5 years. You can have a store for 10 years, right? What's going to keep you lasting is just good customer service, right? Think of all of your favorite brands. They all have good customer service. That's why they're still around. If they didn't have good customer service, they wouldn't be around still. So what is good customer service? Is simple. Simply answering your phone and answering your emails. Try to answer your emails within 12 to 24 hours and try your best to answer the phone immediately. If you're busy, don't worry. They will leave you a voicemail and you can just call them back. Customers do not mind leaving messages. They don't mind at all. If you miss a call, it's fine. You can call them back. Most customers will leave a voicemail and you can just call them back. If you're around and you can answer the phone, answer the phone. You can hire someone on like onlinejobs.ph to answer your phone if you want, if you have work or something like that, and it doesn't cost a lot to do that. But yeah, you want to that it's customer service is simple. Most customers, again, with high ticket, customers are very easygoing. Like I haven't ever had a customer really just yell at me. You know what I mean? Like I've had customers be a little upset because like maybe a supplier told me like, hey, like I don't do back ordered products anymore, but I used to. And I remember I had a supplier and like the back order, he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be like, two." I think he said like 2 months, and then it went from like 2 months to 3 months. And so the biggest thing you can do, and we're gonna talk about back order products, but the biggest thing you can do is just keep them informed, right? But yeah, customers are really easygoing. They're extremely understanding. As long as you're answering your phone and you're answering your emails, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna have a long-term business. You're gonna be good. Now, if you have emails sitting in your email inbox for days and weeks, then that's when it's gonna be an issue, right? Now, mistakes to avoid, right? So things to know, right? So it's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from other people's mistakes. That's from Mr. Warren Buffett. Right now, these are the mistakes you want to avoid. Back ordered products. Boy, let me tell you about backorder products. Now, it sounds good. You know what I mean? It sounds good when you just got 20K in sales in a week and then you contact your supplier and he's like, yeah, it's going to be like 2 months to get it. Now, be if you're going to do backordered products, that's fine, but just make sure you let the customer know. If you get a sale for a product and you contact your supplier and they say this is on back, we don't have stock right now, it's on back order for 2 months. Call the customer and say, hey, this product is on back order. Are you willing to wait? Most customers are going to say yes. It's very rare a customer is going to say no because they want the product. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah, they're willing to wait. And then you're good, right? Just make sure you call the customer. If they don't answer their phone, leave a voicemail and then send them an email and then they'll get it. And then 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah, I can wait. Now, if your supplier says, hey, it's going to be 2 months, and then you tell your customer and they're willing to wait, and then it gets close to that time, and then your supplier is like, oh, I thought it was going to be 2 months, but the truck is taking longer than expected. It's actually going to be another month. Don't just say okay to the supplier and then not update the customer. Make sure you update the customer. Make sure you call them or you email them and say, hey, we thought this was going to come in 2 months. The supplier just said that it's taking long on the dock. It's taking longer than expected. It's going to be an additional month. Now, again, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say that's fine. They're just happy you're updating them. I'm telling you, communication goes a long way. They're just happy that you're updating them. All you have to do is just make sure you update them. If you're going to do back ordered products, just make sure you update the customer and you're good. And make sure you don't spend the money that you owe the supplier, right? So, so if you have like $50,000 in your account, but you owe the supplier 30,000, don't go buy a Benz all cash for 50 G's. And then your supplier is knocking on your door and is like, yo, like you done spent all $50,000. The supplier sends your orders to your customer, and then they're coming to you like, hey, you owe me $30,000, and then you skate off on your supplier. Don't do that. So make sure if you have back order products, make sure you don't also spend the money, right? So know have your P&L, right? That's also in the school. If you join my school, have your P&L and make sure you put the product price and how much you're getting it from the supplier, and then you have your profit margin after Shopify fees, right? It's all in the P&L. It does it automatically. And make sure you know how much you owe the supplier versus how much you get to keep. And then if I were you, what I would do is have a separate either have a separate bank account or transfer that money to your savings, right? So transfer the money you owe all the suppliers that if you have back orders, transfer that money to your savings account. That way you're not seeing it every day in your checking thinking you can just go crazy, right? Just put it in a different bank account or put it in your savings. That way you don't touch it. So whenever it's ready to pay the supplier, you're good, right? Another mistake to avoid is not answering the phone or being slow to answer emails. Once again, we talked about this. Just make sure you answer emails within 12 to 24 hours. Try to call them back. Call them back same day. Again, having a great return policy for each product. Your suppliers give you your return policy, so this isn't that big of a deal. You just don't forget to add one for every supplier. You can use the app in Shopify called Easy Tabs, and you can have your different return policies and warranty policies for each supplier. Each supplier will be different. And make sure you have that on your website because this will increase conversion rate because people want to know what the return policy is, what the warranty policy is. Another mistake that you don't want to make is do not break MAP policy. Do not do this. Most suppliers, they'll warn you, a couple times. Some suppliers are extremely strict. You break it once. Some suppliers are like get rid of you. But most suppliers, that's not the case. 9 times out of 10, if you're breaking MAP, they're gonna just contact you like, hey, you're breaking MAP, and then you just fix it. And then another thing is track your profit and loss accurately in a spreadsheet. We talked about that. Clean books is important, especially if you want to sell your store in the future. So if you want to sell your store in the future, you want to make sure you track everything from the start so you don't have to go backwards. This is actually very, very important, and you will thank me later as you scale your store. I'm telling you, do this. Do not skip this. Track everything. I'm telling you. Make sure you have a P&L and you track all your profit and loss. And make sure, I'm telling you, because when you go to sell your store, they're going to want to see it. You know what I mean? Usually they're going to want to see the last 12 months, usually, right? Usually they want to see the last 12 months of P&L, right? Also keep in mind your taxes, because you can't escape taxes at the end of the day. Make sure you save for your taxes. And then that is and your sales and use tax. Sales and use tax, just make sure you pay that. That's either going to be quarterly or monthly. This is not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, you need to pay it, but like when I say it's not that big of a deal, it's not going to be that much. Sales and use tax is usually not a lot of money. You know what I mean? Because usually you only pay it for the state you're in. So that's not gonna. You're not getting 10,000 sales from your state. It's all it's all over the U.S. Right now. Conclusion. Now I put this just for like an additional. Don't chase jobs. Chase skills. Job expires. Skills compound. Like I said, I believe I don't. I think you shouldn't. I think you should chase skills, right? So you should chase business models that have transferable skills, right? Skills that can follow you for life, no matter what industry you pivot in. For instance, plumbing is a solid trade, but if you ever hate it, your deep knowledge of plumbing doesn't transfer to marketing, sales, or business building. I guess unless you own the plumbing company, right? With high ticket dropshipping, every skill you learn, ads, copywriting, offer creation, website optimization, sales psychology, can be applied to in the work ethic can be applied to any business, any product, any niche. Again, that's why I chose this game, because once you master it, you're never starting from zero again. You can use all of this to build your own brand and your own business, right? So like I said, man, I think this is a phenomenal business for beginners. It teaches everything you need to know about starting a business. It teaches you business relationships. It teaches you contracts. It teaches you how to call businesses, right? And that's basically cold calling, right? It teaches you how to talk to customers. It teaches you marketing. It teaches you advertising. It teaches you creating websites, website optimization, CRO. Like, it teaches you everything, literally. So yeah, I think this is a perfect business model for a beginner. And I think this is the best business model if you want to do drop shipping. I've done low ticket drop shipping and I've done high ticket, and high ticket is much, much better, right? It's much, much better. It's way easier. You don't have to make video ads and things like that and all and things like that. And it's always changing low ticket. Now it's like the AI is big and things like that. So this is sustainable because it doesn't really change. Everything stays the same. Like everything I did 3 years ago, I'm still doing today, right? Now, if you want to learn more, you can join my school. The link is in the description. It's $97 a month. It's not that much. Most of you spend $97 on DoorDash in a day. Some of you spend $97 on DoorDash in a couple days. For the price of a couple days of DoorDash, hey man, you can learn a business model that could potentially change your life. I'm gonna be honest, I don't leave anything out in my school, right? So in my school, in the course that I have on my school, it's 87 videos, 16 modules, and I teach you everything. Literally, I give you the exact Shopify template that I use, and I give you the exact layout that I'd use to make over 1.3 million in 1 year. That layout is what I use to make 1.3 million in 1 year. So, and it's the exact, when I say a carbon copy, it's a carbon copy. The only thing I don't show you is the niche. I walk through how I set it up with a different niche. Everything is the exact same. If you've never made a website before, you can literally just copy me because I walk through everything. Also, I give you the ads breakdown. I give you how to reach out to suppliers. I give you the P&L. I give you the supplier worksheet to where you're able to do this that we talked about. The one I give you in the course is way more detailed than this. There's a lot in there. I'll be honest. There's a lot in there. I took my time on that, and I tried to provide as much value as I possibly can inside of my school. So if you want to skip years of trial and error, like I said, I built a school that covers everything I just shared, but it goes in full depth. It goes in way, way, way more depth. Like I said, I provide templates, outreach scripts, ad breakdowns, and everything. I actually go inside of my ad account and I show you inside of my ad account. Most courses, most people teaching high ticket, they're not going to go in their ad account and show you their ad account and show you how to scale in their ad account and show you what their ad account looks like. I go into my actual ad account as well, right? So there's a lot in there. There's a lot of breakdowns. I teach you marketing psychology in there. I teach you a lot in that school. It's worth way more than $97, way more. And again, it's the school that I wish I had when I first started. I'm constantly adding new content all the time. And I am. So I'll continue to update videos in there. I do high ticket drop shipping still to this day. And I have a store, and I'm probably gonna make a couple new stores. And so all the things I learn, I'm just gonna add more videos to the school, right? That way you just are able to have it. So as you're building your business, you can learn from me as I'm building, more of my businesses. And you can message me in there as well. You can message me in there. You can give me your store URL. I can look at your website. I can tell you what you need to fix, what you need to change. Again, if you follow the video where I'm going through how to build the store, you're not even going to need me to do that. But if you want, you can give me your URL and I can look at your store and tell you what you need to fix. Also, I can tell you like, oh, okay, these suppliers are good, these suppliers aren't. Change this. You should probably reach out to these suppliers. Like, I'll help you out. It's 87 videos and counting, and counting. And like I said, I will continue to update the school and upload new videos. And when you're in my school, you can request for videos to be made. You can message me and say, hey, can you make a video on this? But yeah, I will continue to update the school and upload new videos I feel will bring you value. And you can ask me questions, like I said before, and you can cancel anytime, right? So yeah, that is pretty much it, man. That is pretty much it. That is how you start high ticket drop shipping in 2027. Please subscribe for new videos every week. Comment what you want to see next. And yeah, if you put a comment below of what you want to see or what you want me to break down or go more in depth in, I will make a video on it, right? So make sure you subscribe, man. I appreciate you guys sticking through this video. If you stuck through this video, you are a real one. And if you can stick through this video this long, success is in your future. Success is in your future because that means you're serious. So yeah, I appreciate you. Click the link below to the school and I will see you in there. Thank you, thank you, thank you.